Assalamu alaikum and dobry večer, everyone. Sorry this is so late, but after Juma I was busy. I had to come home and I made a injera pizza for a sister's meeting tonight, and then I had to hop the bus and go back to the masjid. But anyway, the injera pizza is for another video. But anyway, today's khutbah at Masjid al-Noor here in Des Moines was a continuation from last week about rushing to do good deeds. And today the focus was on, you know, just more ideas of how you gain reward for doing good deeds. Rushing as in doing the good deeds and avoiding the bad, as I said last week. But today it was you know, basically the same thing, but just different ways of expressing it, such as how if you come late to Juma, for example, there are people who will get into the masjid before the adhan, sometimes way before. If they don't have anything else to do, they'll go in there and maybe read a Quran or something like that. Or some will come when the adhan is called. Some will come in between the adhan and the iqama. Some will come after the iqama during the khutbah, and some don't come in until the salah actually starts or has already started. So he said that if you are lazy in your salah, in doing your obligations that Allah has enjoined on us, then, as he says, you are among the losers, because you are not focusing on your worship of Allah. You are not concentrating on the things that will benefit you the most in the next life, in the akhirah. And so if you come to the masjid, for instance, for Juma, you gain the greatest reward in Jannah by coming early. And I come early because I have tasks that I have agreed to do, and I enjoy doing it. We have a person who brings food in. Mostly the men go downstairs, but I will nip a little too, if there's any left. But I will set up the basement room for the guys to come down and eat whatever food that this generous brother brings in. And that way all they have to do is to go get their food, sit down and eat, talk with the other guys for a little bit, just enjoy the company of their brothers in Islam. And then after they're all done, then I clean up and then I go home, and I might do a little something and then get online and record these videos. But today I am late doing that because I was making that pizza. But anyway, back to the khutbah. Another thing that he stressed was not just for Juma, but for just praying on time. He urged, it's mostly the men who are supposed to be going to the masjid for Fajr and at least Isha or Maghrib and Isha. I'm not sure if the exact ruling on that is, but the men are supposed to go to the masjid as much as they can, given their work schedules, or try to fit their work schedules around attending the masjid. Of course, there are those who might not be able to get to a masjid if, for instance, they do not have transportation. For someone like me, if I wanted to go to the masjid for Fajr, I can't do that because I can't catch a bus from home early enough. So I only go in the afternoons or evenings when I know I can get there and I can either take a bus home or a bummer ride home. But so going to the masjid is one of the best things you can do to rack up those rewards from Allah, and going on time. If you're going to a class, make sure you get there on time. If you're going to Jama or congregational salat, then you go there at the time that before the adhan starts. That way, if you have to do wudu, you can do that, and you can start in the salat along with everybody else, and you don't have to try to catch up. But also in donating to the masjid to meet its expenses, that is another good deed that has to be done, because we have to support the masjid. We have to make sure that bills are paid, that emergency needs are met. The masjid doesn't usually have any other business entity to earn money, although some might, and but some don't, and you have to rely on donations in order to pay the bills and to acquire any supplies that are used for the various activities. So, like an example, we need to replace our air conditioner and heating systems because they are so old. They're very inefficient, and they are just sucking money right and left. And by getting new ones, we can improve the efficiency, so that will lower the heating and cooling costs in the long run. Or getting a new sign to put up front, because right now all that's on our fence is the address number. There is nothing outside on the building or on the fence that indicates that it is a masjid. So that is a project that we are going to be raising funds for. So supporting the masjid, in addition to just attending, if you do that, and you do that as much as you can, or as many times as you can, depending on what it is you're doing, you just simply rack up more rewards from Allah. And that's another way of rushing to the good deeds, because you are giving of yourself in a timely manner, and you are showing Allah that you are doing it for His sake, you are doing it for His worship, because a lot of things that you do are acts of worship, and to do as many of those as you can will benefit you in the long run in the next life. You do that, you get a spot in Jannah. But if you get lazy, if you don't do everything you're supposed to do, then you're just buying yourself a one-way ticket to Jahannam or hellfire, and we don't want to do that. So that was again the continuation from last week, rushing to the good deeds and avoiding the bad as much as possible. And I hope this is of benefit to all of you. And as usual, if I say anything wrong, it's totally my bad. I can't blame Mila. Anything good comes from Allah, because Allah is the source of all good. And totally unrelated to the khutbah, I have good news, and I don't know how to fix a picture inside a video, but I will hold up this. I don't know how well this will work. That little angel is my new great niece, Mercedes. I just had to show that. She was born Wednesday night here in Des Moines, and 11:42 p.m. And we are so excited to have a new member of the family, and I'm going to spoil her rotten. So Thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum, do widzenia, and miaus for Mila.